Good afternoon. Happy Monday. I pray everybody's having a positive, productive day so far today. If not, I pray that your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, and of course the Most High help you with that. That being said, I've been dealing with my own discouragement today, and I almost didn't come on to do the devotional today, but I'm trying my best to remain positive and optimistic and just keep pushing through. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm here with the daily devotion from Do Not Be Afraid by Nathan Brown for January 6th, 2025. And oddly enough, the name of today's devotion is Broken Relationships. It references scripture Genesis 3, verse 12. When we understand God as our creator and the source of life, the world and all its goodness, it is hardly a surprise that breaking that relationship will damage all aspects of our lives and relationships. The story in Genesis 3 details each of these broken relationships in turn. First, we suffer from a broken relationship with ourselves, reflected in the sense of shame described in Genesis chapter 3, verse 7. Our relationships with other people are also broken and strained. Without much prompting, Adam and Eve were quick to blame someone else for what had gone wrong. Their marred human relationship to the earth itself and to the rest of creation was, as described by God, the consequence of their broken relationship. These broken relationships are the origin of our many experiences of fear, ultimately all pointing us back to this abiding human plight. We fear that our lives have no story because we have fled from the story God has given us. Our deep fears point us back to the deep story in which our flight from God leaves us fearful of a world that was meant to be received as a gift. Every aspect of a human life and experience was distorted by sin, and fear was the most obvious, immediate, and enduring result. But even in describing these broken relationships and their consequences, God offered a promise. Somehow, within this broken and fearful human story, there would be one who would defeat the source of lies and fear, even if at a great cost to himself. In restoring these broken relationships, God would bring an end would bring an end to fear and ultimately recreate the world as it was intended to be. At this tragic moment of sudden fear and shame, God gave hope. I think that's the story of a lot of us today. A lot of us deal with different types of broken relationships, broken marriages, broken families, broken friendships. And ultimately, we seek for someone to blame. And although pointing fingers is the easiest solution to the fear and to the pain and to the consequences, we all play a role. Whether that role is giving up on the relationships, walking away without trying to heal them, or the role of actually being the one that tears it apart. When it's all said and done, it doesn't change the fact that broken relationships are a reality of our everyday life. And no matter how painful it is, sometimes we have to keep faith and remain hopeful that God will restore those relationships in whatever way. And sometimes we have to take that broken relationship and use it as an example and as a reason to begin to work on ourselves. In whatever way that is, it's different for all of us. You know, Adam blamed Eve, Eve blamed the serpent, and when it's all said and done, they both played a very active role. And God's heart was broken. It hurt him that his children not only deceived him, but deceived themselves and each other. We all suffer pain and we all suffer loss in different ways. And unfortunately, sometimes that brokenness can't be healed for whatever reason. But that shouldn't stop us from wanting to heal ourselves from that fear, from that pain, from that hurt, from that shame or guilt. Whatever it is that we carry with us that prevents us from being able to heal our hearts, to find the faith, to keep pushing forward, to push through the pain, and if at all possible, find purpose for it. Whether it's learning lessons, learning more about ourselves, learning how to do better in the future. There's so many experiences that ultimately form who we are as people. And sometimes they can very much distort our view of ourselves, of the world, of our family, of our friends, of the world as a whole. Fear was not meant to be a part of our lives. Pain, it wasn't supposed to be that way. And I'm sure we can all look back at different relationships that have occurred over our lives and say it wasn't supposed to be that way. But unfortunately, feeling that way doesn't change the reality of where we are today. So I want to encourage you. If you have family, love them. If you have friends, be grateful for them. If you have pain, don't be afraid to dig deep and try to heal that pain. Of course, we can't do it on our own. But with the help of God and our ancestors and our spirit guides and a lot of faith and a lot of hope, it's possible. So as always, be grateful for what you have. The big, the small, and the blessings yet to come. If you see a need out there, today, tomorrow, next week, if there's any possible way that you can fill that need, please do so. You may not only better their day, but you could possibly change their life. And you never know the impact it can have on yours. Be blessed, find peace, and I'll see you next time.